Do you think you can hear the difference between a $300 and $3,000 tube amp? Well, let's find out. Now, when I first got into tube amps, I was of the party that you couldn't. I was told that tube amps were just better than solid state amps in most regards, and I thought that all tube amps were relatively the same. Obviously, you have your wattages and certain breakup points, but if a tube's a tube, isn't it the same tone? Well, recently, I got the opportunity to test this idea, as I found this 1965 Fender Princeton Reverb for sale locally and went along with the purchase because I thought I could try it out and see if it really was any better than my old Silvertone 1482. Now, up until then, I had no issues with my Silvertone. We've used it many times on stage for vocals or guitar, and it's always held up well. It was real loud, and it did great with pedals and other overdrive systems. But when I tried the Princeton Reverb is when things changed. The way the Princeton handles clean tones and overdrive really is a game changer compared to what my Silvertone did before. And I'm gonna have a hard time giving it up because I'm not keeping this, unfortunately. And the reason I'm not keeping it is because I don't have $3,000 to keep this with. Granted, I did buy it, but I don't play guitar as much as I do anymore, and the tones are great, but are they worth $3,000? Well, that's for you to decide. These demos are going to be recorded on my Zoom H4n with a dynamic Sennheiser E906 mic direct onto the cone. I'm going to have as little difference in each amp as I can, no reverb, no vibrato, tremolo. I'm going to keep all tones at noon. That's just one singular treble tone for the Silvertone. And I'm going to keep the mic position dead on center cone. Now, there are some spec differences to take into account, particularly the 12-inch speaker on the Silvertone and the 10-inch on the Princeton. There is also a slight wattage difference between the Princeton and the Silvertone, with the Silvertone having a bit higher of a breakup point due to its increased wattage, but I will correct that in the demos you see. Another side note is that the Princeton sounds wonderful with the reverb on too. It just gives a slight airy feeling, and unfortunately it won't be demonstrated here since the Silvertone doesn't have reverb, but I wanted to mention that as it does add a lot of ambiance. I am going to do some level adjustments so it's pretty streamlined, but other than that, you're going to hear the clean tones and distorted tones one for one from both. If you enjoyed this content, I do make other guitar content, though it is mainly vintage keyboard focused. Thanks for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy.